tomorrow, which you cannot visit, not even in your dreams. You can try to be like them, but you cannot make them just like you. Try to be like them, but you cannot make them just like you.
Hey, good to see you.
Good to see you too. Hey.
I'm giving y'all a quick tour.
For their souls dwell in a place of tomorrow, which you cannot visit, not even in your
Somebody who knows something about this technology, can you help me out a minute?
Yeah.
Okay, right here say tag friends. I'm on, right?
Yes, it's your live. There's 3 people on.
Oh, okay. So what does that mean to say tag
That says
friends?
if you want to tag like Gabe, so then people who follow Gabe can see that he's here.
Oh.
So anyone who's here that you want to tag, the people in their friend group will see that they're also live.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So take a look at the corner, y'all. Get ready to get started. This is every line. We have 50 seconds in Larchwood. Keep it in place. Okay. Here's the books up there. And get your books. People. This is Sister Betsy. Everybody knows Betsy. She got the coffee. She got the donuts. And
All right, we're live.
we're I need somebody to take this while Lynn, Kevin, somebody take this with all the stuff that's going on right now. We're 5 minutes late. And Gabe, I'm gonna bring you on. We'll bring you on. You know, but I want Wadia to see. Wadia! So is somebody videoing? All right. On the move.
On the move.
We're here because on December 9th, 1981, our brother, Mumia Abu-Jamal, was beaten, stomped, kicked, head rammed into a pole, split wide open. He was kidnapped off the street and charged with killing a police officer. 39 years we have been proven that Mumia Abu-Jamal is innocent. This year, like all years, but none like any other, evidence has exploded. We have here my sister Janet and Janine Africa. And 2020, all our family is home. All our family is home. And they're on the street doing what they were doing on the inside. On the inside. Raising revolution, making people aware of what's going on here. I have a special surprise for everybody right here. The love of Mumia's life. The sister that's been by him through thick and thin, 39 years. Sister Wadia Jamal, the wife of Mumia Abu-Jamal. Wadia.
Wow. On the move, everybody. Can y'all hear me? On the move, everybody. Can y'all hear me? Okay, on the move. I'm so glad to see everybody out here looking beautiful, bright, and healthy, and trying to help me, or help me, help them help me here. I'm helping them get Mumia out of jail. He's been in there for 39 years for a crime he never committed. His only crime was that he survived a vicious ass whipping, shot in his chest, and a whole bunch of prison time. 39 years. And I'm asking everybody who gives a darn to come out and visit with us, talk with us, get information from us. Whew. Mumia has been, he almost died in prison. He's sick right now.
That's right. Tell
You
him
know,
about it.
he's sick right now. They have him segregated from other inmates right now because they had that quarantine up in Manahoy prison, and December is not a good month for me. You know, I've had some harsh things happen, and all we need is just y'all to just please get our backs, stay with us, hang with us, get Mumia home where he should be. He should have never been in prison at all, just like the rest of my family, the family Africa. James Ramp was shot by friendly fire. Shoot. Daniel Faulkner was shot by friendly fire. And all right, and I wanted to take a minute to say that Maureen Faulkner is a fraud. She's a liar.
That's right.
And she's a snake.
Proven.
Yes, absolutely proven. She has been married to a man for over too many years, to another man, but she's still using the name Faulkner. Her name is Maureen Pokovich. But she's working with the Fraternal Order of Police, and she's getting paid for it. All right, thank y'all. Goldie, should I say something? All right, I'd like to also say to keep your light and energy and prayers for our daughter, Goldie, who passed away on December 17th. That's another reason why December is not a good month for me. You know, our family has struggled and scampered, and she has two beautiful baby girls out here that needs Mumia, their papa, out here to help us raise them right. And they're strong and loving. So please, the more the merrier. Nothing is too small. Nothing you do would be too small. Just help. All right now, thank you, and on the move.
Thank you for coming out. Our host, you'll see my sister Linda coming up each time somebody leaves the mic, because we're really doing social distancing. That's why we're outside. And believe me, it's cold out here, but we're on a mission. It don't feel cold to you? Okay. We want to send a salute out to Goldie. And now Goldie is Wadia and Mumia's daughter. She was right out here on the front line, and she was a singer, an activist, a poet, but she's a hell of a mother. And you know, so we don't want to ever forget Goldie, the daughter of Wadia and Mumia Abu-Jamal. I'm going to turn it over, and because I'm going to be walking around live, and to Brother Gabe. And Brother Gabe, oh, and I want you to notice this. The power of truth is final. Mumia Abu-Jamal way, and free Mumia now. The campaign to bring Mumia home. I just want to send a shout out to Johanna and the campaign to bring Mumia home. Susan Ross up in New York. We want to send a shout out to the Labor Party in California, the mobilization to bring Mumia home in Mexico, and the Mumia Libre in Germany and France, the collective and Julia Wright, the daughter of Richard Wright. I got a statement from her we're going to be reading a little bit later on. But Brother Gabe, because you had to snatch this thing from me.
Perfect. On the move! On the move! On the move! Free Mumia! Free them all! So we want to get right to it. We have a lot of speakers today, but we want to get right to the work because it's been a phenomenal year of activity as we work to not only free Mumia Abu-Jamal, but free all political prisoners. This book right here in my hand is an important part of today's activity. It is the book that Mumia has put his work in, his brilliance in, and his life in, called Murder Incorporated, Empire, Genocide, Manifest Destiny, Perfecting Tyranny. This is book 3 of a series that Mumia has been working on along with Steven Vittoria. And as we know on the flyer and all of our promotions, this book is very important to the story and narrative of who we are right now in this current struggle for resistance and rebellion, not only in Philadelphia, but around the world. And so with that being said, we want to bring up somebody who can share a lot more information about this book, book 3, our comrade from Prison Radio, Noel Hammerhand.
So thank you for coming out. My name is Noel Hanrahan. I'm the director of Prison Radio. We produce radio commentaries by prisoners, and we've been doing it now for 30 years. We've been working with Mumia Abu-Jamal since 1992. And I just want to say that everyone in Philadelphia and now nationally knows that an apology is not enough. No. That what has happened to our community and our colleagues, our correspondents, what's endemic in the justice system in Philadelphia is a tragedy. Larry Krasner announced in June that he was going to do a truth, justice, and reconciliation process. That process has to happen. Our people inside prisons who are there because of the misconduct of prosecutorial misconduct, police officer misconduct, judicial misconduct, they have to come home. So we have to bring every single one of them home. When I started this project, interviewing Mumia by radio, it was enough to get his voice out. It was enough to make sure that people could still hear him and see him and believe in him as a person and who wasn't going to be silenced and locked away by the state. That his voice was going to join us. Well, now it's not enough that we have the books and the radio and the voice. It's not enough. We need to bring Mumia Abu-Jamal home. I'm saying this now and not talking about the book, but I'll get to the book in a minute, because half or more, all of the people inside our correctional institutions, all 47,000 people need to come home. No other country does it like this. It's criminogenic. It creates crime. It destroys communities. Our people are worth bringing home now. So every governor, Wolf, Wetzel, Krasner, and the people who are the logjam right now are the common pleas court judges. They have got to go. They cannot stand on their legacy of brutalizing our people. So Mumia Abu-Jamal, how does he do it? It's amazing. Mumia always spoke for the people. When he was out here as a journalist working for WHYY, then WUHY, working for URD, one time I wrote to him and I asked him to list all the radio stations and newspapers he wrote for. He wrote me back like a 3-page list of every single newspaper you guys could possibly imagine. He was a gadfly reporter. And when he went to prison, he never stopped. Mumia has been reporting from inside, telling the story of his people for these many years. This is his 13th book. 420 pages. It is in the tradition of Vincent Harding, There's a River, of Eduardo Galeano's Open Veins of Latin America, of Howard Zinn's A People's History of the United States. This is told from the inside. There is no one paying this man to not tell the truth. He is telling the truth and exposing. When you're a reporter out here, as you all know, many of you who are here filming this today know this, you are always given a choice. Tell the truth or tell what your bosses want to hear. We have to stand outside and tell the truth just as hard as Mumia Abu-Jamal does standing inside. I can't tell you how many jobs I've lost because I demanded that my station cover the stories from the perspective of the people. From the perspective of the people at the other end of the baton. That's the kind of reporting that Mumia Abu-Jamal does. And that's why he's been censored. That's why Bob Dole got up on the United States Senate floor and said, how dare NPR use his voice on the radio? Because it would make a person on death row who is innocent, demonstrably so, sound like a human being that everyone could relate to. Because Mumia Abu-Jamal is fluent in French, he's fluent in German, he's conversational in Spanish, he's getting his PhD at the University of Santa Cruz, he's gotten his master's at Dominguez Hills, and this is his 13th book. So I want to challenge you to read this book and understand where it's coming from, because our future depends on it. We have to now understand that we cannot forget what has happened. And what I started off with was, an apology is not enough.
I could probably just sit right here. This is my, all right. So now, keep moving. We're gonna move along. Our next speaker actually is a good brother of ours and Mumia supporter. He is the executive director of the Abolitionist Law Center, and is going to talk about why we need to not only free Mumia Abu-Jamal, but also free Russell Maroon Schultz and all prisoners who are locked down in these prisons due to COVID-19 here in Philadelphia and Pennsylvania. Robert Salim Holbrook.
Thank you everybody for coming out here. My name is Salim Holbrook. I'm the executive director of the Abolitionist Law Center. If there's one thing that Mumia's case shows is that not only is Mumia Abu-Jamal not guilty, the system that put him on trial, the system that framed him, the system that keeps him in prison is guilty. The Fraternal Order of Police, the City of Philadelphia, and their allies in government and the media would have people believe that the case against Mumia Abu-Jamal is an open and a shut matter. demonstrating that his guilt is beyond any reasonable doubt. This evidence does not stand up to examination. Instead, it proves that the police coerced witnesses to lie, fabricated a confession, and mishandled, neglected, and withheld crime scene evidence. Mumia Abu-Jamal was framed and denied his rights to a fair trial. His freedom was taken from him. What is abundantly clear is that the Philadelphia Police Department, the District Attorney's Office, under the authority of then DA Ed Rendell, racist Judge Sabo, the state and federal appeals courts, and the United States Supreme Court have been involved in a flagrant conspiracy to frame and continue the imprisonment of Mumia Abu-Jamal. The evidence that was used to convict Mumia does not stand up under any scrutiny. At the most, Mumia Abu-Jamal must be freed. But at the least, he should be given a new trial. And with this evidence under scrutiny, it is beyond doubt that Mumia Abu-Jamal would be acquitted of these charges, of these false charges. If he was tried by a jury of his peers today, if he was tried by his community today, if he was tried in a courtroom in Philadelphia today, Mumia Abu-Jamal would be acquitted. This evidence consisted of the prosecution using unreliable witnesses, a false confession, police mishandling of evidence from start to finish, and to this day, ballistic evidence that contradicted the prosecution's theory, judicial bias, a judge saying that he was going to, in his words, help them fry that nigger. That was the judge that tried him. Just on that statement alone, Mumia Abu-Jamal should have been acquitted and he should be free. But that tells you what type of a system that we live in. That tells you what type of system of justice that we have when it's on record that the judge said this and it is acceptable. Flawed PCRA hearings where the evidence that Mumia, new evidence that exonerated Mumia, was not allowed in because of procedural bars. Perjured testimony, ineffective assistance of counsel, and most importantly, a system of corruption in the Philadelphia Police Department and the District Attorney's Office that was described as a criminal enterprise by the United States Department of Justice. This is what is keeping Mumia Abu-Jamal in prison. This case is not about evidence. This case was about framing a man who was defending and reporting on that corruption in the city of Philadelphia. And we demand his freedom unconditionally. The court of his community demands his freedom. Mumia Abu-Jamal is in his 60s right now. There is a COVID epidemic raging within the Department of Corrections. Over 29 prisoners have died from COVID since October 15th. Mumia is a member of vulnerable populations based on his age and his medical condition. Russell Maroon Schultz, another political prisoner who has been in prison for 50 years, is battling stage 4 cancer and recently contracted COVID-19, is also in danger of dying in prison. We are demanding their release right now. The fact that they are still in prison today, 40 years and 50 years respectively, is unacceptable during a global pandemic that has showed that not only do we live in a failed state, in a racist state, but we live in a state that continues to devalue black lives and continues to crush black resistance. We need to free Mumia Abu-Jamal. We need to free Russell Maroon Schultz. We need to free Muhammad Burton and all political prisoners in Pennsylvania right now unconditionally. Governor Wolf has that ability to use with his reprieve powers, and we are demanding that he do this. We are demanding that he do this not just based on the fact that Mumia Abu-Jamal, the evidence shows that he is not guilty, but because it is what justice demands. We want our political prisoners freed. Free them all. Thank you.
Free them all, free them all. We're gonna bring them home, right? We're gonna bring them home, right? So next up, we have an organizer with the Workers' World Party, because many of you saw last month in October, I guess now 2 months ago, that our dear brother Colin Kaepernick made a statement in support of not only abolition, not only for political prisoners, but Colin Kaepernick made a statement with regards to supporting the freedom and release of Mumia Abu-Jamal. That's major for the movement. And so to illustrate that and why it's important for our struggle right now, we want to bring up again from Workers' World Party, our dear family, Ted Kelly.
Thanks, Gabe. Let's hear it for Linda, too, who's been keeping us safe. My name is Ted Kelly. I'm with Workers' World Party, the Prisoner Solidarity Committee of Workers' World Party. And I'm here to say free Mumia. It's hard to underestimate the impact and the importance of Colin Kaepernick joining the struggle to free Mumia Abu-Jamal. And I want to just read a quick statement from Monica Moorhead, one of my dear comrades in Workers' World Party. She's a presidential candidate in 2016, and she wrote a pamphlet called Why Kaepernick Was Right. And he was right. So this is from Monica Moorhead. When I was a teenager, the movement was electrified by the actions of Tommy Smith and John Carlos, who used their platform to defiantly show solidarity with the movement for black liberation. Colin Kaepernick has proven himself a modern-day Carlos and Smith in a very different period for an entirely new generation. He has joined in the tradition of these athletes. Colin Kaepernick provided a platform and a symbol of resistance after the police murder of Anton Sterling and Philando Castile that resonated through professional, amateur, and school athletics. Solidarity with Cap, Black Lives Matter. Colin Kaepernick lost his livelihood and put his life on the line to show solidarity with the Black Lives Matter movement. He took a huge risk by doing what he did in a platform that you can't really get bigger than the NFL. And this is after taking the 49ers to the Super Bowl. And he did this in what is objectively a very conservative period, where even the statement that Black Lives Matter is met with jeers and protest. And Kaepernick took his knee during the national anthem to show that this country does not value black lives. And it was impossible to ignore that protest. I think it's also really important to mention that for our generation, he stepped up. And there was really so few people of his prominence, of our generation, who were using their platform, and the floodgates are open now. I mean, the movement has just exploded in these years since the initial Black Lives Matter uprising. The important thing also is that his support for Mumia ties our struggle now to the struggle of previous generations, to the Black Panthers, to the MOVE organization. The organizers and revolutionaries who laid the groundwork for everything we're doing today. And Nat Turner and Harriet Tubman and every revolutionary going back centuries fighting against the white supremacist, capitalist, imperialist system that we live under right now. We have to free Mumia because he and Russell Maroon Shoatz and all the other political prisoners who are still incarcerated, free Imam Jamil Al-Amin. We need to free all these people, and especially because there is now a new generation of political prisoners from the current struggle. And that's why I want to also read a brief statement from my comrade DeAndre Jefferson about an organizer here in Philadelphia who has been under attack by the state, who was kidnapped by federal forces just 2 months ago. We at the Free Ant Formation are excited about the release of Mumia Abu-Jamal's new book, Murder Incorporated, Volume 3, Perfecting Tyranny. Mumia's astute analysis of the world, and specifically the American project, are illuminating. Mumia helps us to be clear. American exceptionalism does not exist. Freedom and liberty are used as vague concepts to disguise a system which does not value everyone, and that punishes those who simply name that hypocrisy. Through our fight to secure Ant's release on bail and our subsequent fight to exonerate him, that has never been more clear. We are also clear that the strength we have is in community. Through the strength of the community, we were able to bring Ant home. Over the years, the community has also been responsible for getting Mumia off death row. The more we come together to fight against the repression we face for our honesty, the easier our fight becomes. We must not stop until we free all of our folks in the belly of the beast. So I just want to say, free Ant, free Mumia Abu-Jamal, and free them all.
Announce we got a food giveaway, but they got to bring their bags.
Okay.
You know, we got kale, spring mix.
Just a quick announcement also is that we have food to my right, your left. It's going to be part of our food giveaway as well. But next up, many of you all saw last night on HBO Max the film 40 Years a Prisoner. Right? 40 Years a Prisoner, phenomenal film about the story of the Move 9. And so we're blessed, obviously, of course, to see that work over decades to free those folks from that confrontation of August 8th, 1978. And so today, to talk about their response to the city, are two members who were released and freed in 2019 after 41 years of imprisonment. Give it up, y'all, for Janet Africa and Janine Africa, y'all.
All right, now on the move, everybody. Long live John Africa. You know, as Dave said, we spent 41 years in prison for a crime we did not commit. And this city knew that we didn't commit. We were in jail because we were committed to John Africa, to revolution. And despite what this city tried to do, John Africa, my Move family, and all the people in the movement got us released from prison. And we're going to do the same thing for Mumia and for all political prisoners. What we want to talk about today is we found out that the city issued a formal apology for the bombing, 1985 bombing of our family. First of all, we want to make it clear that the city didn't issue no apology to the MOVE organization. We have not talked to anybody from City Hall, from the City Council. They issued a public relations statement to the media.
That's right.
All right?
That's right.
But despite that, MOVE is saying to everybody, apology with no action behind it is meaningless.
That's right.
If they feel like an apology is going to rectify what they did to our family in 1985, we're saying show us a symbol of the sincerity by releasing Mumia Abu-Jamal. That's all we want. You know, at one time, somebody had printed that we wanted the city to take the parole off of us because we got 3,200 years and we got 60 years of parole on us. But we want to make it clear, we're not saying that. We're home. Thanks to John Africa and everybody, we're home. Mumia is in prison. We don't care about that parole. What we care about is getting Mumia out of that jail cell where they are trying to kill him. And that's all that matters to us. We don't want to hear anything else because That apology is not going to bring back my son. That apology is not going to bring back Janet's daughter, none of our kids, and our sisters and brothers, and all our animals that they bombed to death in 1985. So we don't want to hear that. But Mumia is still alive, and he can be alive. We want him out of there. You know, Mumia is in prison, was shot down because Mumia was the only journalist at that time that printed the truth, the unbiased truth about MOVE, John Africa, and the assault on our belief by the city of Philadelphia. Mumia is the only journalist that reported an unbiased report about the trial of the system versus John Africa. Mumia is the only journalist that would read excerpts from the MOVE 9 trial on his radio program, that read excerpts from John Africa's federal trial, and Mumia is the only one that would not give in to the coercion from his bosses. Mumia was threatened several times to stop printing and reporting unbiased reports about the MOVE 9 trial, and he refused to do it. And he lost his job on the Tribune, he lost his job at NPR. He was driving a taxi cab because rather than make money and have that status, all he wanted to do was put that truth out there. And the day that the MOVE 9 was sentenced to 30 to 100 years, the judge was on a national radio program, and Mumia called into that program. And he didn't say his name, he didn't have to. That voice is unmistakable. And he pushed that judge to say who shot James Ramp. And the judge said, to come out in the middle and said, I don't know who shot James Ramp. And Mumia said, you don't know, but you just sent 9 people to prison for 30 to 100 years? Not a week later, we got a phone call when we called home, and they said Mumia was almost shot to death in the hospital and charged with the murder of a police officer. We know what happened. It was right after he called into that radio program. And this is why the MOVE organization is fighting so hard for Mumia. And that's all we're concerned with, because he put his career on the line, his life on the line, to put out the truth about MOVE, John Africa. And we're saying he is our brother, and we're going to fight with everything we got to get him out of there and save his life like he tried to save MOVE. On the move, long live John Africa.
On the move, I just wanted to give y'all a little more history of MOVE and Mumia. We love Mumia. We love Mumia. That's our brother. When we were in prison, Mumia came up to visit us. Not just once, twice, but very regular he came up to visit us. Mumia loved MOVE, and he loved John Africa. During John Africa's federal trial, where the system had John Africa on trial, and you know how the feds are, they always get their man. John Africa walked out of that federal courtroom a free man, and Mumia covered that. Mumia was impressed, encouraged, and just motivated by John Africa's example. When Mumia went to court, he asked the courts for John Africa to represent him, because he saw how John Africa represented himself against all those odds, and there was plenty of odds. Over killing a cop, 10 cops. That was the charges against John Africa, but he walked out of there free. So Mumia asked the courts for John Africa to represent him. Do you know they denied Mumia that? Because they were afraid if John Africa represented himself and walked out of that courtroom free, that it was a possibility, a strong possibility, that Mumia would be walking out that prison too. They didn't want that. Right. So they kept Mumia. They still got Mumia in jail because they want to keep him down. But we're saying if Mumia thought for 1 minute that his life would not have been complete with John Africa representing him, he wouldn't have did it. We all know how smart Mumia is. We know what risk he takes and what risk he don't take. He asked for his life to be represented by John Africa. That is the belief that MOVE believe in. That is what we asked for when we went to prison. But we went 41 years in jail to show people what John Africa did for us. represented our belief, truly, strongly committed to this revolution, and we're not going to stop. We need people to keep fighting. Y'all fought for us. Look at all the years that it took, 41 years, but you never stopped. And I know after a while it gets like a burden. I mean, all these years you don't see nothing happening, but things have happened. Things are happening. We're home. Long live John F. Long live the people. Mumia is coming home too, but we can't stop. Can't give in. Because a lot of people stop and say, this is just nothing's happening. But you can't give in to the adversary. You can never give in to him. I don't care how things may seem, how they may appear like nothing's happening. That's not true. And I'm here to represent that. Move is here to represent that. The example that I give people a lot of times is that example about that termite that's coming through a piece of wood. When it's on the other side and coming through that wood, you can't see that termite as it's coming through. But when it breaks through, there's a hole and you're coming right through it. And that's what's happening now. We can't stop. We can't give up. We have to keep on fighting. Now we got more things on top of just the freedom of Mumia. We got this coronavirus. You know, we got so many things that's trying to stand in the way of Mumia. We got that King's Court that's trying to stop everything. There's no movement. There's no movement with Mumia. You know, like if you have a object, a subject where you can bring up and bring it up, they stop that. But we can't let them stop that and get away with it. We got to keep pushing. We got to keep on, because otherwise they will kill us. They are going to raise hell on us no matter what. This system is wrong. It's rotten from the core. You've got to do something about it. You can't just give into it, because they are going to stomp you down, whether you say something or you don't. So you might as well say something. You might as well do something. And that's what Move intends to do for Mumia for the rest of our lives too. We lost our brother Delbert. We lost our sister Merle. We lost our brother Phil, Janine's husband, in prison. And they were fighters of this revolution, y'all. We fought. We lost our children. My daughter was in that house. We lost 11 of our brothers and sisters in that house. We lost our animals. We don't want that to be in vain. You know, like the brother was saying, we're standing on the shoulders of people that were brutalized, raped, murdered, separated from their children, just divided, that don't even know who their relatives are. But we're standing on them shoulders, that people that fought hard, they never gave up. And look where we are now. We've got to keep fighting, y'all. Don't give up, because it's not just Move. It's not just Mumia. It's not. It is this whole system that's stepping on everybody's neck, that's pressing everybody down. And we have got to recognize that and realize that you've got to fight. You've got to take your freedom, because they're not going to give it to you. You know, you've got to understand that. And in order to get that, you've got to give up. You got to give up the handcuffs that this system put on the brain. You know, and they put them handcuffs on our brain since we were children. But now that reconditioning is coming off, because people are seeing what's happening. They're being exposed. Look at the government. Have you seen anybody more criminal than them? But they walk around free, murder, rape, steal, and do everything. And they walk around free in suits, and people respect them. But look at John Africa. Look at Move. Look at the Move organization, the people that fight for this revolution. They want to look down on us. But we fighting for what's right, and we will not stop. We want Mumia home. We want Mumia home now. We want people to keep on fighting. Don't give up, because when you fight for Move, when you fight for Mumia, you're fighting for yourself. Long live John Africa.
Free them all.
Free them all.
Powerful, wasn't that? Wasn't that powerful? Yeah. It's always good to hear from Janet and Janine Africa for their continued work. And as they showcase that, even though they was down for 41 years, they are still in the fight, still in the movement, and still in this ongoing struggle toward the liberation, y'all. Is that right? Yeah. Next up, when it comes to Mumia Abu-Jamal, we want to thank the press who are here today, because there are certain press that are independent, that support this movement, and allow us to tell our own narrative. And there are other media entities that continue the lies and the deception against Mumia Abu-Jamal that we're working to disrupt. So with that being said, we want to bring up a co-organizer with the Black Alliance for Peace, as well as Black Lives Matter Philadelphia chapter, but also ongoing work with just community work as an activist in the city of Philadelphia, homegrown, native. Give it up, y'all, for y'all name Indigo.
Power to the people. I am born and raised here in so-called Philadelphia, Lenape-Hoken. Not native. Just want to honor the Lenape by saying that I am born and raised, but not native to this land. So, not long after our good brother Kaepernick spoke and called for the release of our beloved brother Mumia, there was a commentary made to refute that call by Smear Konish, who wrote the book on, as he says, wrote the book on this, and actually, you know, received probably all of his notoriety through this, through the effort to undermine this, the movement for justice for Mumia Abu-Jamal. And, you know, he went out there, you know, I was thinking about it when I was listening to Janet talk about unbiased reporting, and also to the ways that that kind of reporting, with reporting the truth and speaking the truth, brings consequences. And CNN gave room and space for this man to smear the truth without giving any room and space for our community to tell the truth. And we are calling on CNN to actually try for once to be objective and unbiased and allow the people to hear the whole story so that they can discern and have access to the actual truth. Even if these people were convinced about that Mumia is not innocent, there's no way that they could believe at this point in time that Mumia received a fair trial. If you really, really don't believe that this man is innocent, if you do not believe in his innocence, you should actually want the actual trial to happen without any of the prosecutorial misconduct, without the police misconduct, with all of those things that sully that trial, to be removed so that people would be able to settle this situation with the truth. Why would you stand in the way of an actual fair and just trial for anyone? For anyone, unless what you actually fear is the truth. What we need, what we require, what we demand, ultimately, obviously, is the release of our innocent brother Mumia Abu-Jamal. Yes. And we also demand at least below that, which we don't need a trial at this point, because there's enough reason without another trial to release Mumia. You've got the reason based on COVID conditions and his age and his health. You've got the reason based on judiciary, prosecutorial misconduct that has caused other individuals to be able to be released with no trial. And you also, and so another trial at least, though, is required. That's no problem. At the least, we should have another trial, as Brother Salim said. But what we are saying to CNN is your job is to provide unbiased reporting and to give room and space to smear carnage, to smear the truth, and give no room to our community to tell the actual truth. Is wrong as it relates to the idea of journalism, and it spits in the face of true journalists like our good brother Mumia Abu-Jamal. So when you do this, when you put a person, when you allow this man, Smear Carnage, to give this lack of true information to people who don't know the whole story, what you can do is inspire people to actually go out and attack the truth teller, to attack the advocate, which is what Kaepernick is, a truth teller and an advocate. You can cause this individual to be in more harm, to be in danger as a result of giving room and space for an individual to tell lies and not give room for people to tell the truth. So CNN, CNN, we are saying to you to take this opportunity to give some real, to provide some real objective journalism and give room and space for the entire story to be told so that the people can be exposed to the truth that Mumia Abu-Jamal is a man who has been innocent and who was framed and who needs to come home now. Thank you.
All right, we almost over, y'all, but we want to do this. We in December, so we gonna get a little colder, but we all right? We still on fire. It might be a little windy, but we still on fire, is that right? So, with that being said, we're thankful for everybody that came out to speak today. We want to open up to the family here, to the community. We have many activists and organizers right here on this corner. So we do want to open it up for a couple folks who do want to share, who may want to open up and share a couple comments about why it's important right now to free Mumia Abu-Jamal. So we do want to open it up right now. If there is anybody, you can come right here to the microphone and we'll get you set up right now. So if there is anybody that want to share, we will bring you up. All right, let's go right to it. We're going to get started here. We're going to get started with somebody who is very special for us, somebody who's a long-time supporter, activist, radio show host, a little bit of everything in Philadelphia. He does it and has done it. He is Jeff Hart, y'all.
Thank you, Brother Gabe. And I want to applause for Brother Gabe, please. I've seen Brother Gabe grow from a youngster to a middle-aged man now, and you got the lead. We knew we put it in good hands and Brother Gabe took it over. I just want to let everybody know I'm still in support. When I got back in Philadelphia and went on WHAT, I did everything in my power to reach out to Pam Africa. Pam spent many a night on the radio with me, along with Consuela, Ramona, and my heart still is heavy about what took place in this city, not only in 1978, but in 1985. And 1981. And we are going to free Mumia Abu-Jamal. Right. But we've been hollering and screaming, and I just want to give out some special to Brother Kamal. Yes. Where's Brother Kamal, who's always here, sets up mics, does everything. Brother Kamal, I want to give a shout out to Brother Razakhan. Brother Razakhan is always on the move, and since he married Sister Pam, she has been everywhere, on time, everything. And then I want to, of course, give a shout out to Sister Pam, because if it wasn't for Sister Pam, this might have gone away. But Sister Pam wouldn't let it go, and as she has always told me, John Africa told me to do it, and I'm going to continue to do it. Janine, Janet, we're glad to see you sisters home. And we're going to get the rest of political prisoners home as soon as possible. On the move!
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Powerful stuff. Powerful stuff. Once again, we are opening it up for a couple of folks as well to speak from the community. If you would like to speak, you can just come up here to the front, and we'll open it up for discussion if you want to share a few words. I think that we did have a couple organizations that did want to speak. I believe, well, I'll say this. Pam was, you might be voluntold by Pam to speak. But what we want to do is we want to open it up to our next brother to speak. Okay, so we also want to open it up to our next brother. He's a brother that we've been hearing speak for a long time. He supports our political prisoners. He supports many of our work here in Philadelphia, and really also, of course, the East Coast, frankly. Give it up for Brother Kemba, y'all.
Power to the people. My name is Ikemba. I represent the International People's Democratic Uhuru Movement. Uhuru. Yeah, Uhuru means freedom, and that's what we've been fighting for ever since the first European came to Africa and kidnapped the first African. You know, the Uhuru Movement supports Mumia. The reason why Uhuru is in Philadelphia today is because of the atrocities that happened in 1985 when the state bombed the Move family. And so, you know, we're going to continue to fight. We want to bring Mumia home. We want to bring all political prisoners home. A lot of things was touched on today, very powerful, you know, to hear, you know, Janet speak, Pam, everybody that was speaking today, like, really inspired me and shows me why we out here and we fighting. The real crime, the crime against humanity, the crime against African people that Europeans have committed and continue to commit. And the reason why Mumia is in jail and a lot of people who resisted, especially in the 60s and 70s, is because they was fighting against the criminal acts of the state. They was fighting against the criminal acts of these Europeans that continue to oppress and exploit our people in this country. And all around the world, not even just in this country. So, you know, you got the Uhuru support. We're going to continue to fight, and Mumia is coming home, and we're bringing all political prisoners home by any means necessary, as Michael would say.
Let's go. Yeah, we want to continue to support, you know, the International People's Democratic Uhuru Movement because they've been doing a lot of work for decades now on behalf of Mumia Abu-Jamal. It's really been, you know, since the beginning, they've been there. You know, so we want to shout out the whole Uhuru movement. Also, as a reminder for folks who just arrived later, we have books. We have the 13th new book of Mumia Abu-Jamal right around the corner underneath this blue tent. You can pick it up. It's book 3 of his series. And so please pick up the book for Mumia Abu-Jamal. Next up, we want to bring up, you know, somebody who also has been a long-time supporter and a long-time organization that supported Mumia Abu-Jamal. We want to bring up Steve from the People's Organization for Progress out in New Jersey, y'all. Give it up for him.
From the first time I started hearing about the Mumia Abu-Jamal case and seeing the strength of the community out there behind it, and knowing that decade after decade after decade, as long as I've been a thinking adult, you people have been out here in the streets supporting Mumia. It's a real testament to the community behind him. But it's been over 400 years of justice denied, and this is just another example of what's going on. And the backdrop of Philadelphia and the police organization, the system that's been going on for decades here, it's amazing that people can't see through what's been going on. But continued strength for being out here and one day Mumia will be free.
All right. We're nearing the end, but again, please pick up the new book. Please get a number, or from the comrades here, from the family, so we can keep building and sharing through the year. 2021 is going to be a great year for us because we believe that we're going to bring these folks home, y'all. I'm so confident right now that we're going to win, and that we're going to do what we have to do to change this world for ourselves, for our communities, for generations to come. With that being said, as we always say, we not only fight for Mumia Abu-Jamal, but we say free them all, and that all includes many individuals who are locked up unlawfully. And that includes our dear brother, Imam Jamil Al-Amin, formerly known as H. Rap Brown, somebody who's a giant in our movement, also for decades, for our people. So with that being said, I want to bring in somebody who's so dear to us. I just call her Mama Bay. That's what she is to me. So good up, y'all, for Mama Bay, y'all, from the coalition to free Imam Jamil Al-Amin, y'all. Go, Mama.
I hear you say, free them all.
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 You know something? We tired of this injustice in the United States of America. So that man right there, his picture's over there, H. Rap Brown. That man spoke up for the rights of human beings and to free our African descendant people in this United States. And he said America is full of hypocrisy. So we want to ask the Creator and the people to support the freedom of Imam Jamil Al-Amin, formerly known as H. Rap Brown. That man has been dragged. He spent 7 years in 7 levels under the ground in a federal penitentiary. All because when he was imprisoned in Georgia in the state penitentiary where he was supposed to be in prison, the guys in the prison wanted him to be their leader. So to suppress him being their leader, they sent him to the federal system and put him 7 levels underground in solitary confinement. Then we supported his movement. He got very ill. We supported his movement. He got released from the federal pen in underground and sent to a federal pen here in Pennsylvania. So we at least were successful doing that. So now he's back in the federal pen. He's in general population, but he does need his freedom. He is elderly, he is ill, and he needs to be released just like all of our other people. Russell Maroon Schultz, he needs to come home now. And Brother Mumia Abu-Jamal, he needs to come home now.
Now.
Free them all.
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 Ashe, ashe, oh.
All right, on the move. I want to let people know we have fresh vegetables, we have cereal, we have food over here for a food giveaway. So if you bring your bags, we do have a few bags, because part of this today is to give to the people as well. So we got fresh kale greens, we got spring salad, we got cabbage, we got Chinese cabbage as well. So get a bag, come on over. We also have donuts, we have coffee, we have tea on the other side. We have Mumia books, which is going well. So those in the listening audience, come on down and get your books. Come get some food, spread the word to the people in the community. It's a good food giveaway. And we can't say enough. And the reason why we chose to be outside is because a car drove into, and I don't know how the accident happened, but they drove all the way into the building. And also it's boarded up. the whole door, all this frame here is gone. And so they're working on getting this back together. And we know that the cops beat, maim, kill people every day. They don't care whether it's raining, sleeting, snowing, hailing, or what. So our position is, we have marched in the snow. We've marched in the rain. We marched when the sun was so damn hot. You know, some people was passing out. But we who believe in freedom, damn it, we won't stop. And that's the real deal here. So the wind is blowing, things all across the street, and we're running and getting the stuff, and it started snowing, but you know, our determination, our gut feeling is fuck the police. Fuck the police! Oh, there I go, I'm sorry. All right, you know it's me now. Behind this mask, this Pam. Sure. But we want to keep this going. Any other brother and sister want to speak out at this particular point? And because not only that, CNN put all our lives in danger. And there's a monster on the radio, on the TV. He started off in the radio here in Philadelphia. Michael Smerconish. Michael Smerconish. Some people called him a snake, but oh, please don't put that on the snake. The snake ain't never beat. The snake ain't never lied. The snake ain't never perpetrated. Just like John Africa taught us, the snake, the pig, ain't got a damn thing to do what these filthy, rotten mother suckers do every day. And the only reason why somebody gets sick from eating the pig, and you know, and saying that the pig is the violator, because you want the foot, you want the ears, you want the nose, you want the butt, you want the heart. I'm saying the pig ain't guilty of nothing, just like we ain't. We victimized. It is victimized by, let me say this. I got some cats. I got 3 women, cats, all of them pregnant. They all jet black. They're alley cats. We feed them, we take care of them, we even got a tent for them. You know, well, the tent was our exercise tent, but they done took it over. So these pregnant mothers, and who we had to take care of from when they was babies, because people would say, and I want to say, when people say Black Lives Matter, they understand what you're saying. When you say Black Lives Matter, and you look at a black kitten and say, oh, I don't want that thing. What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? You want the white cat over the black cat. You want the white dog over the black dog. And then stand up and tell me Black Lives Matter? Bullshit. I am so hurt because we have these kittens that we raised, and let me tell you how wise they are. I've been trying to catch them so that we can take them out to the wild where they can live off the food that was provided by mama. We can't catch them. We've been 2 years. One cat came around a few years ago, baby kitten. We looked out in the yard, and there was one that was like white and brown, and there was only one black cat. Then the little other ones disappeared, and the little baby black kitten, it was there. But we would try to catch it, and you know, so we can bring them in, take care of them, get them a nice home. But this cat was so abused to this day. All she do is come in our house when she's pregnant. When she always get pregnant in the wintertime too, right? So she come in, have her babies, and then she leave her babies there, and we gotta find them a home, or we gotta take care of her babies. But we do that because it's the right thing to do. Because you can't talk about your love of life and see a mother with children, and the reason why she leave her children is the same reason why, you know, a lot of mothers leave their children now, because they have not had, you know, the necessity of being able to mother and care and love for their children because of the imposition that's been put on life and put on us. That's why we will look at the black cat or look at any cat and see it hungry and turn your back on it. John Africa taught us that you have to care for all life. So I am saying that because I got 3 black cats that's going to have a whole lot of babies. They all pregnant at the same time. And when they come off their mother's breasts, I'm going to be looking for homes. All right, Jeff, I got you. I'm going to be looking homes for these black cats, and I'm going to be saying it over and over and over again. Black lives do matter. Black lives do matter. That's right. And I call them my panther cats. They look like Black Panthers. And also, for those who believe in the Panthers, think about these black kittens that I have in my home. And I'm telling you, it's overwhelming. She haven't had them yet. But once she have them, I'm going to have to bring all of them in the house because of the snow and the cold weather. I'm doing the best I can now to protect them, buying one of them little igloo tents, and also the babies can do it. We ain't left Mumia, and we still talking about life and protecting life. So, did Reverend Collins speak? No. Reverend Collins is a damn good brother. He's a frontline soldier. He's been attacked by this very same government that has attacked each and every last one of us. Lied, locked him up, locked his wife up, and I'm saying, you know, we did for Reverend Collins what Reverend Collins did for us. We ain't no dirty merchants, because the coordinator told us, when somebody's good to you, you got to be good to them. And we also help those that ain't good, so you got to bring them the right way. And but Reverend Collins, we didn't go looking for him. He came and found us. And through following, what was going on. So I just want to bring him up, and he helped bring food. The cereal, and there's a lot of other things, there. So we are going to be doing this food giveaway, and I believe we're going to have to move that food to the front so that people can see. And again, for those that standing up here cold and shivering and going from one side to the other, and there's hot coffee, there's tea, there's donuts over there. So please come around and help yourself. And for people that can hear me, go get your shopping bags and come on back here and get some good, wholesome food in your stomach. Put that pot of greens on. All right? Make that wholesome salad. And you got a shopping cart? I see somebody going through the park. Bring it on over here and get some good food. Okay, Brother Collins, you on the move.
On the move, everyone. I used to listen to Mumia as a young man, as a teenager, saying, who is this man with this voice when he came on WDAS? No one was like him. And it wasn't until many years later, I spent 3 hours when I went to visit Mumia. 3 of the most powerful hours of my life. When he told me his exploits from a teenager, how he challenged the system. What a great example. We have housed returning citizens for 2 decades without being clicked in with the state. We purchased 3 houses, and we've had people from state, federal, and county probation and parole who live with us. We don't get any money for it. We have been on the front line of court advocacy. We've been on the front line of not just prison reform, but prison abolition. And it was only until last year, after I had a 10-year lawsuit against the county, the town that the church is in, and the racist school district, and we won after 10 years. All of a sudden, right before the election, my wife and I are arrested and accused of all sorts of things. We're here to let you know that we stand in solidarity. We're here to let you know that all of us are at risk. I'm also here to let you know I feel bad that more clergy is not here. That hurts my spirit. There are some here, but there should be more. Because we need we need to understand that that's the only real purpose is freedom. And if we're not about freedom, then it doesn't matter how big our church is, it doesn't matter how big the mosque is. If we're not about freedom and justice and liberty, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I was told that after the bombing, the clergy, black clergy, had a prayer vigil for Mayor Good, but did not pray with the family. That was unconscionable to me. How could you not pray with the victims? How could you not pray with people that lost everything? So we're here to say as well, we stand in solidarity, and we are a liberation ministry. We are a on-the-move ministry. Sister Pam has been to our ministry. Brother Mike and Debbie have been to our ministry. We've had our sessions with Sister Ramona, and Sister Pam could tell their story. Because if they can't tell their story, we'll never know the truth. We have to go beyond the hype in the media. And that's what this is all about. When we're here today, we run a food bank every week. We go to the farm, we give food for the people. So we're excited to be here today, and we say on the move, free all political prisoners, on the move. Thank you.
Okay, we still here. We're going to be here till 2 o'clock. And also, we're urging people to come on down and get your books. And those who is too cold to stay, and we appreciate you staying as long as you did stay. Spread the word. And also, which is very important, when you go on Facebook, we have the information under the flyer. You push a button, and what will come up is the press conference where Lynn Washington, Kaepernick, a lot of people saw the Kaepernick speech, 7 minutes, but there was a whole lot more to that. There was a very important press conference that explained to everybody the information that's needed. These masses is a pain in the ass. You got to keep pulling them up. You don't have to keep changing because my nose is running and stuff. So, anyway, go on Facebook. You can go to the mobilization to free Mumia. Is that .com after that? Mobilization to free Mumia.com. The necessary information that is needed to bring Mumia home. What you need to be teaching and telling everybody. You don't have to teach them, tell them, watch the video. Watch the video. Now, I was talking about Mr. Smirconish, Monster Smirconish, who got on CNN and lied. That lie is on that same, you'll find it on the campaign to bring Mumia home. He was saying that Mumia is guilty. He took deliberate aim to kill Faulkner. And the thing is, he said that Mumia stood over Faulkner, kept shooting. Faulkner rolled to the left. He rolled to the right. And ducking them bullets. The only thing about that, which you'll find in the video, a brother by the name of Poagar was down there before all the cops got in. He was right in the area. So he was taking pictures. And what he took was pictures of the ground where they say Faulkner, where the blood was at. There is not a crack in the ground at all. So if you're saying Mumia shot Faulkner like that, putting this, story out about, super cop rolling to the left, rolling to the right while Mumia's firing, and there's no difference in the ground. There's nothing to support anything that they say about Mumia. But there's evidence. There's evidence in order to show that these are liars. We're going to put a petition up, and we want y'all to help us. Put a petition up demanding that CNN give us equal time. Because not only Mama wrote down and filth out the air, but I'm talking about the wind. CNN, demand that we get equal time. so that we can put out the truth about Mumia. And we're demanding it, number one, because the lies that they tell is just like the lies that Trump tells. When Trump lied and nobody do nothing about it, people die. People have died in this revolution to bring Mumia home. I'm talking about State Representative David P. Richardson, because David P. Richardson was a stand-up brother. And he was the politician that everybody wants to be on the front line with them. The politician that stood up and said to Governor Ridge and to the world that Mumia was free. He told the truth about all these petitions that was put out there for Mumia. He said they're not telling you about the closets, the boxes. He said there's a closet with boxes from the floor to the ceiling where people have wrote from around the world about the case of Mumia, demanding that Mumia be free. He talked about how when we were calling and putting their phone numbers out, how they had to keep changing their phone numbers because the power of the people was shutting it down. They felt that pressure. They need to feel that pressure again. So the number to CNN, she's going without it. But Google CNN, Google the corporate office, because we don't want to deal with no peons. And we want to go right to the top. Shut that motherfucker down. Shut it down. Because what they're doing is causing not only Mumia, but each and every last one of them. Just like Trump is fanning the flames of racism, fanning the flames of hatred, and the letters that have been sent out about Colin Kaepernick, how they like to break his legs, how they like to do bodily harm to him. For what? Tell him the truth? So I'm saying we have got to stop these monsters, the ones who write the lies, the one who have the airlines, the TV lines of saying these lies, spewing these lies that is causing these problems. Mumia damn near died in them prisons 2 years ago. Sister, hold up 1 minute. And let her know we got bags and food in it, so please come down. And we got bags, we got fresh greens, we got fresh kale greens and everything. So please take a bag home. So back to CNN. The CNNs, we have got to stand up. And when these people raise their ugly heads to and tell lies, the only way they continue to tell lies, the only reason why Trump can continue to tell lies, because he have not been dealt with properly. Trump should have been locked up long time ago. To hell with this waiting, this voting shit. And because I'm saying, I'm not saying to hell with the vote, because if that's what you believe in, do that. But if you're saying that you believe in some justice, if you're saying that, you're supposed to be living by the law, they killed the Rosenbergs behind what they said was, what's that other word? Treason. They killed the Rosenbergs. But Trump, this monster, went over to Russia, had a meeting with Putin, didn't allow not one of the people that he brought over there with him from the United States, official and media, to be in the meeting. He sat down in a meeting with the Russian government by himself. We don't know to this day what was said there. Then he should have been arrested when he came back here. When that Air Force One landed, they should have had the police. They should have had everything that they brought to our house on May 13th to cart that monster off. But since they didn't do nothing then, he gave them another treat. He invites Putin to come to the United States. He had a meeting with Putin in the president's office. No Americans give the food out. Right, get some bags. No Americans was allowed in that meeting. Just Putin and him. So I'm saying, who the hell are we? And you know, who the hell are we for people who think black folks don't matter, white folks don't matter either, Asians don't matter, Chinese don't matter, none of us matter to this motherfucker. But what I'm saying is, why are we allowing this government, Democrats, Republicans, and all the rest of them to play games with us? To play games with us. How come this motherfucker isn't locked up? Because he isn't locked up, thousands and thousands and millions, are going up to the millions of people have died from COVID, thanks to them. But if the Democrats and the Republicans and all these legislative pimps, and I'll say it again, all these legislative pimps, without exception, explain to the world how come that motherfucker ain't locked up for treason. How come they didn't do him like they did the Rosenbergs? They killed them despite evidence of innocence. This is no question mark about what he did. The world saw it. The world knows it's treason. So I'm saying, I don't have no love for people who don't stand up and do the right thing. So don't tell me about, you gotta wait and see what's happening in Georgia. And lock this motherfucker up. Lock this motherfucker up now. And that'll be the end to that problem. And all those that he put in office. Because the day that you get rid of him, you still got the Supreme Court justices that he put in. You still got every last one of them legislators that he put in. I'm saying when Trump go, you got to send them all out or you ain't doing a goddamn thing. In fact, I done stayed on too long because I'm getting ready to preach the Bible like Nat Turner. That's my man. This one is really my man. Raskan Shaib Wali.
A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, which simply means I seek refuge in Allah from Satan the accursed. But in my heart and mind, I say I seek refuge in the Creator from the madness that we are forced to live in. And the Creator gives people common sense. You know what I'm saying? Now, I don't have no whole lot of love for the democratic process because I know they cheat, they lie, they do all kinds of stuff. But we can see that and do nothing about it. You know what I'm saying? Even all our top black legislators, supposed to be legislators, they got laws against everything that these guys done done. I'm surprised that Biden won Georgia. Anytime you allow racist individuals to chase you out of town, you know what I'm saying, and you don't do nothing about it, all those people should have been locked up. All that do is encourage the rest of those racist guys to do what they do because they know ain't nothing gonna happen to them. Here's a guy, $2 million, they got him out on bail. Saw him shoot 2 people dead. But now everybody was arguing about the $2 million. My thoughts was, how did he get any bail? You don't get bail with first-degree murder. You know what I mean? Premeditated murder is no bail. So they didn't charge him with murder. So we got to start looking at what's happening. You know what I'm saying? And anytime you lie, all those guys, Jeff Sessions, everybody that lied in front of when they had their confirmation hearing, they can all be brought back and removed if they follow the law. Republicans don't care nothing about it because the law don't apply to them. Because nobody applies it to them. You don't lock them jokers up, you don't do nothing, so they don't have no respect for the law. You can't make them, but now they're afraid of it because all Trump talk about is pardon so-and-so, pardon this, pardon that. You know what I mean? If they charge him with treason, then they can remove all those people around him and start over again. Even those judges. The first thing that would come to me in my mind, he put 200 judges on the federal benches. How much did you pay for that judgeship? You know, that's a fair question to ask. But nobody wants to ask that because they don't want to. They want to make pretend that we got a hell of a judicial system and it's fair. You know what I'm saying? Trump is just so bodacious. You know what I mean? He's just a gangster and don't give a fuck about nobody because he's taking pushing Putin's plan book. You know what I'm saying? And where they get it from is Nazi Germany. But now if you study where Nazi Germany got all their stuff from, they got it from the Ku Klux Klan. That's right. You know what I'm saying? Hitler's #1 person was Henry Ford. And if you check your history, check your records, the only reason why they didn't charge Henry Ford, Kodak, and all them big corporations for being with Hitler, because it would have made it look like Hitler ran America, and he did. You know what I'm saying? We got to look to see what's going on, and you got to make them follow the law. I could prosecute Trump and send him the fuck to jail. I mean, I'm just a paralegal, and I know enough that I done seen enough laws that he broke to send him to jail. So why can't all these top prosecutors do it? But now what they're doing is they setting it up to have a race war, because all the people that's got charges against Trump is black. Jetta James, Lynetta James, whatever her name is, from New York, she's a black prosecutor. Look and see all the people that's coming after Trump is black. He gonna holler at his, and then Trump's #1 man is Eric Prince, who is Secretary Du Bois's brother. He owns Blackwater, who Dick Cheney used to own. You know what I'm saying? Anytime they auction off half of the war to Blackwater, we got trouble on our hands. And if you think the Democrats are going to protect you, you better think again. We got to protect ourselves. We got to see it and call them out. And I mean, no, man, I don't even understand what they're thinking about. You know what I'm saying? Because we are doomed if we don't fight for ourselves. Call it out wherever it is. Democrat, Republican, makes no difference. We got to call them out. I'm trying to think of this other joke. Yeah, I mean, no, it's a law, a statute. 18 U.S.C. 242. Meaning, deprivation of law, deprivation of rights under the color of law. When Trump called the guy from Georgia to tell him to overturn the votes so he can, send it to what's going on, that was illegal in itself. I mean, anybody that know law, ask your lawyer, ask anybody. 18 U.S.C. 242, and didn't Trump violate it, and he should be in jail right now for 10 years. That's what it calls for. But see, individuals got to know this and see that. You know what I'm saying? And then bring it out. Because if they don't say nothing about it, then you know they ain't nothing. None of them. And that's how it is. And, yeah, the post office too. And he moved the machines. You know what I'm saying? Moved the machines so the people couldn't vote. That is a violation of your rights. Anytime anybody do anything that tries to not allow you to act under the color of law, they do it in their professional position as a head of something. Under the color of law, they got the authority. But now they don't have the authority to do anything that's discriminatory or anything that makes you not be able to exercise your constitutional right. They go to jail for it. But we don't have, nobody is saying that. Them jokers, all of them need to be in jail right now. I'm gone.
Okay, if you look on that phone, and some people might be asking questions that can't get down there, but I want to say again, please go to the campaign to bring Mumia home, .com or .org. I don't know which dot it is, but it's the campaign to bring Mumia home, and get the information. Go to the mobilization to free Mumia. These are on the East Coast, on the West Coast. Go to the mobilization for Mumia. Go to labor action for Mumia. in Mexico. Go to Mumia Libre. Google where it's at in Germany. And Sister Charlotte O'Neill and Pete O'Neill. Pete O'Neill is in exile from the United States. Google Sister Charlotte O'Neill. Go to YouTube and see who Sister Charlotte O'Neill is. Her and Brother Pete had to flee the country to get away from the tyranny. And this is what Mumia book is about. Tyranny in the United States here. And because they was going to kill Pete like they killed Fred Hampton. And also go to our websites and get the information on who is putting information out and the why people are putting information out. A sister said to me this morning, in fact it was my sister Linda, she said, you know, we're asking people to die for Mumia. No, we're asking people to live for Mumia. And you know, I'm not here to die for anything. I'm here fighting to live. And when you fight to live for Mumia, when you fight to live for Mu, you're fighting for the information about the air, the water, the soil. You're talking about true education. When we're talking about fighting, I don't see many people involved in the environmental fight about our water. We have more people dying from drinking water. And I'm not just talking about the tap water. I'm talking about that water that they sell you in plastic bottles. Something that the earth will not accept. And so I'm saying when you have situations where they put plastic in the earth and the earth won't take it, we don't have no business putting it in our bodies. They tell you how dangerous plastic is. They'll send you to Whole Foods. They'll send you to Moms, these places, and they will sell you water in plastic. We got to rise up and we got to fight these things. These places that are called places that supposed to be dealing with food that's organic, that's natural, it's a lie. It's a lie. There was places who had organic foods. Didn't look like nothing in the supermarket. The food was not uniformed so that all the apples would look nice and bright and red. If you ever went to a real place that has organic food, and you will see the evidence of life eating life. And you will see the evidence of a worm. If the worm don't want it, I damn sure don't want it. And you know, when you go into Whole Food and you look at the food in Whole Food, and it look like the food in Giant, it look like the food in Thriftway, both of them sell watermelon without seeds, cucumbers without seeds, grape without seeds. These motherfuckers have taken the seed of life. What is it that we're eating? What is it that they're telling us? They're saying that they are selling good food, wholesome food. But what is food without the seed of life? Where do the other grapes come from? Where do the other watermelons come from? Why is our water in plastic? Why aren't we raising hell at Moms? Why are we raising hell at Whole Foods for the lie that they're telling us? And we'll spend big money to go in there to get the name Whole Foods, to get the name Moms. How many times are these people going to keep spitting in your face, pissing in your face, and telling you it's raining? Stand up, get up, fight. This is why these people was coming after John Africa and John Africa's disciples, because we will not allow the lie to be told. And we must confront it. If you want natural food from Whole Foods, then damn to go there and demand that they stop feeding you this fake food that is killing you. People are dying more from eating the food, drinking the water, than COVID ever had. And while we speaking about, you know, in the prisons, and we got to be talking about COVID in the prisons. But we got to remember the other diseases that's in the prison that they allow to exist in there. We had people long before COVID happened. We had people in there dying from hepatitis C. We had people in the prisons dying from diabetes. We had people dying from all these diseases that came in there healthy and strong, young brothers, young sisters, strong. But only thing they had a problem of what the system put in their heads, and a lot of them wandered up there. And you know, I'm saying it's supposed to be a correctional center, but what they're doing, they're killing us. They're killing us through the drugs. They're killing them through the foods and things. And we have got to take it all the way across the board. And COVID is the new hepatitis C. It's just like when somebody died, somebody's murdered by the police. So we fired up, we ain't taking no more. Fired up, we ain't taking no more. And then give it a few months, it goes on away until the next one is shot. We fired up, we ain't taking no more. Fired up, we ain't taking no more. And they kill somebody else. But I love this movement that's happening now because they fired up and they keep this fire under these buckets, under this monsters behind. And I mean, all praises to those young folks. And have taken the street when they say, if we don't get it, shut it down. If we don't get it, shut it down. And they shut it down. And I want to say to people who spit on these young folks taken to the street, going eye to eye, fist to fist with these damn cops. They ain't doing it because they just want to be out here. They doing it because they sick and tired of being beaten. They sick of those that ain't beat, that came from the comfort of their homes to come down here and fight. And some of the people here sound like Bull Connors and them, and down south said, them outsiders coming here. We don't want them outsiders coming here disrupting our stuff. And I'm saying, what is wrong with you? Your comfortability has given you the point that you really don't give a damn. You want to play like you care. You want to fight the people that is fighting for us. For us. When politicians don't have the backbone to stand up, these young folks gave them courage by taking to the street. These young folks was beat. They was thrown in jail. You seen the woman that was driving down the street, had a child in the car, and they snatched her out, beat her up, took her to jail, and her child was left. A 2-year-old child left. I'm saying, this is what they did on 52nd Street, where we're standing at right now, right across from Malcolm X Park. We have got to stand up for our people. I'm seeing some young folks over here, some nodders over here. This mic is open for you to speak your piece and let people know how you feel about what's happening in your community. We're going to be here till 2 o'clock. We're going to be here till 2 o'clock. We got the food giveaway going over here. And when people are coming up and getting food, please come down. We got fresh collard greens. We got fresh kale. We got spring mix. We got sweet potatoes. We have kale, I just said that. We got yams.
Collard greens.
Collard greens, that's a sister there. I'm thinking about that pot of collard greens. Throw me some carrots and some white potatoes in there. Make me some soup. We got Kellogg's cornflakes. We got cereal. We got milk, chocolate milk. People have donated. Reverend Collins came from Trainer, Pennsylvania, down here to bring food. Frontline dads, came down to bring food for people. So we're not leaving until the food is gone. The word hasn't been passed around that we're out here, but we're going to be out here. And believe me, it is cold out here. But you know what? These motherfuckers got people sleeping in the street who ain't got no food, who ain't got no house. And I'm saying, what is it for us to stand out here 2 hours to bring some food for those who don't have? And for those who have a little, we want to offer them some more. So come on down, bring your bags. We short on bags, but bring your bags. You can get a box of food. You can get a bag of food. Bring a cart. Come on down and get some food. Some good, wholesome food. Kale greens. People don't know the importance of vitamin C that's in kale greens. You can put it in the oven, make some kale chips. There's also, you can make a kale salad. You take a massage the kale greens, put a little oil on it, you massage it until it gets, pliable. And you can throw yourself some onions, some green peppers, some tomatoes in there, and put whatever seasonings you want on there, and eat the kale greens raw, because it's best for you there. And if you can't get to that, stir them kale greens in a pot of hot water, put your seasonings in there, make yourself some kale green soup, make yourself some kale greens, period. Come on, sis. We got some damn good food over here. I'm saying on a day like this, kale green soup, a pot of kale greens, some sweet potatoes on the side, and if you eat meat, whatever meat it is of your choice, whether it be chicken wings or whatever. But you got a meal here. Get a shot of them spring mix over there. Brother, from Pop. Get a shot of that. Yeah. I'm saying we ain't giving away no junk here. We're giving you some fresh, crisp food. I'm saying we're giving you some fresh, crisp information, for the mind and for your stomach as well. We want to arm you to get out here and fight these motherfuckers the same way they fight us. The power of truth is final, and that's what we fight these people with. Years ago, the Panthers, a group of young children, because if you look back at them pictures, these were young folks that stood up and fought this government. They seen the necessity to feed the community, and that's what we're doing. On December the 21st, we'll be down at the UNIA building at 16th and Cecil B. Moore. Our brother Immortal Technique, who brought food here before in front of the door of the Wallace family. A young brother who was shot down in the street before his mother, before our block. This in the block that I live. This was one of my neighbors that the cops came and shot this brother down in the street. So Immortal Technique saw the problem, saw where the stores had been shut down and things in our neighborhood, and came and brought food. And the group is not the Frontline Dads. Who said that? Oh, excuse me, I heard, God damn it, and I thought it was something going on, so you know me. I'm going to take a breath and turn around and see what's happening. But we can't tell y'all enough. To go to the campaign to bring Mumia home. Go to mobilization for Mumia, who is doing something all the time that's in the streets, putting out the information about Mumia. I'm saying we have been in blizzards. We have been in the rain, the sleet, the snow, the hail, just, putting this information out. Everything that is needed for people to come home. And I want to say, when we're talking about the Democrats and Republicans, we're pushing them to do the right thing. They took on these damn jobs. They made all these promises. And what we're saying is, we're not the liberal type that, go along to get along. A lot of them Democrats is my brothers and sisters. Excuse me. What is that noise up to? Somebody over here starting shit? Somebody could plug that up and see if they can get some heat on Betsy P. But again, I wish y'all can see the brothers and sisters. Yo, brother, you cannot give in that box like that. They gotta hand it to you. You gotta put gloves on. You gotta put gloves on, sanitize them hands, get as much as you want, but that's how we gotta roll in this pandemic. People are welcome to come over, but you got to put that sanitizing stuff on your hands. We have rubber gloves over here, and bring your bags. And we also have boxes. You can mix the box up and make some food. Sister Poetica is in the house. Sister, you got to come up here and say something. That's right. This sister's been all over. And I'll hold your thing for you. Hey, okay. All right. Okay.
On the move, y'all. On the move. I want y'all to give high honors to Sister Pam Africa, who has been on the front lines for some time. We're here, right here in Philadelphia, the same place that when I was a student at Kappa, Performing Arts High School, I'm sorry, even before then, I was younger than that. I was watching on the television set as Mayor Good fought live with the police commissioner at the time over bombing the home of a family, an Asiatic family, a so-called black family in Philadelphia. And I watched with my family, my mother and my father, and we lived a few blocks from Osage Avenue. And I kind of get chills a little bit, not because of the snow or not because of the cold, but because I can't believe that over 20 years later, Mumia is not free. And a lot of people don't know that Philadelphia was the place that the police department and the city victimized a family in their home, dropped a bomb on them, killed them, women and children, because they believed in eating healthy. At the time, there was newscasts that would talk about the MOVE members being bad members of the community because they ate raw food. Today, most people aspire to eat raw food. But back then, this family was victimized for eating raw food and promoting a healthy lifestyle. They would run through the community with dreadlocks on. And it was misconceived. It was even perpetuated through the city that they were dirty and that they were unclean and that they should be handled harshly. So live on the news, there was bombs dropped on this family. They were treated as if they were not American, as if they were not in America. You know how they talk about winter in America? Who ever heard about winter in America? All right. One of our honorary poets and ancestors, Gil Scott, talks about how cold it is in a place where during holidays, some people are enjoying food and warm, loving families, but others are being victimized. They're being targeted for genocide. This family in 1985 had a bomb drop on them. The city of Philadelphia supported it. The mayor supported it up until the last moment and tried to stop it. The police commissioner went against his wishes and dropped the bomb and killed children. This is something that the government did, something that people that we trust.
I don't trust them.
Oh yeah, they're not to be trusted, but people do trust them. They trusted them so much that they went out in the streets and risked what? In these COVID streets. And they made votes for people who they don't know. They talked about these people as if they cared about your community more than once a year, 3 times during election. These people never made many of a difference in our lives before, and they still do not. And you fight each other over what they believe. That makes no sense. No sense. Fight for yourselves. Fight for your right, your ability to control your destiny through your actions. Fight for yourselves and the fractions of yourself that you lose every time you fight for them. Fight for yourself. When we come together and we give away food, we demonstrate not just what the Panthers demonstrated, because when the Panthers started giving away food, that wasn't the main reason why they got together. They knew that they needed a breakfast program, but they got together because a young child got hit in the street, on a street that had no street light. So the community came together and created their own crosswalk support system so that the children and the people could walk across the street without being hit in a community where their taxes did not pay for the lights to stay on. That's what it started about. Today is about freeing Mumia. Mumia should be out here with us all. He inspired us. He inspires and continues to inspire universities full of scholars who graduate every year. They listen to him speak at their graduations. We read his books. We understand his ideologies. But we have not been successful at getting him out here with us to celebrate as well. He should not remain the martyr for struggle. He should not remain caged as an animal, as he has spoke on freedom for so many. It is now time for Mumia Abu-Jamal to be and remain free. I tried physically myself to create a library right on Lancaster Avenue to name after him. That library was at a place called Lava. And when I tried to create a dedication to him, my office was shut down. The building was shut down. For some reason, Philadelphia does not want the world to know the story of the political prisoner Mumia Abu-Jamal. They don't want the world to know the story of Move 9. They don't want the story to know, the community and the world to know the story that Philadelphia waged war on a family, dropped a bomb, and killed women and children, unarmed, pointed rifles at their backs, shot them dead, flooded their houses. This was all ordained by the Philadelphia Police Department. All right? Right here in this great place that we call Philadelphia. So what I want you to do, I want you to find a way today, every one of you, that you can reach out to either the prison he's in, that you can reach out to the legislators who have something to do with him being locked up. I want you to reach out on his behalf. Just one deed today. Because I, myself, now a mother of 3, well, 4, 1 in college, right? You know, graduated. A mother, an activist, a writer, a singer, a television producer. I produce television now. But I don't see enough about Mumia. Last night on HBO, Michael Africa was successful in having an airing of 40 Years a Prisoner. Tonight on HBO 2, 40 Years a Prisoner will play again. If you get the opportunity to watch it, please spread the word. Tell someone to tell someone else. Most people don't even know that such atrocities have occurred in a city that is labeled brotherly love. But it is necessary for you all to know. If the poet laureate didn't tell you, I will tell you now today. You must, as you celebrate this holiday season, you must celebrate those who have celebrated your freedoms and still have not had their own. help brother Mumia Abu-Jamal. For years, when Move was being targeted by the police, Mumia maintained a radio show in which he allowed Ramona Africa and so many others to speak on what was being done to them in the dark. Now that it's in the light, continue to shed light on it. Continue, because if you don't know now, you will never know. If you don't petition for your own freedom, you will not have it. If you do not petition for your own freedom, you will not have it. Y'all underlining all the words that I'm spitting. Slap boxing, popping words for the hitting. See, we go in this ring fighting and come out fighting, speaking in tongues, ironically hung to this society. See, don't let nobody steal away your right to be free. Capture your essence and capitalize in your absence, or tell you that the value of the chosen few won't be diminished if you allow them all to finish what they start. See, in Philly, across the street from our art history is where we shall lie futuristically. Keep up the fight or we will be obsolete. Like the streets get paid till the roads are complete. Democracy is upheld until the system conquers and beats. Victory with the agony of defeat. Fight till your feet fail you. Cause after that your mental will sail you ashore. Fight till your rights are restored. Till the alarm is on, the bell has rung, and you have won. I am Poetica, and I love Philadelphia, born and raised. And I will say until he is free. On the move.